What's going on out there? It's been a while since I did a regular video. We get so used to going live, and sometimes we forget, you know, what the purpose of these videos and social media, what it represents. Just wanted to reach out to everybody. I had some things on my mind, and people that's on Facebook right now see that I've been posting. And I have a question and a challenge to us. Right? When are we going to stop posting about our issues and start doing something at home, within ourselves, within our communities? Like, what are we doing? Are we going down the same hole that the people in the past have went? Because we got to learn from past mistakes and failures, right? That's important, because if we're not learning, right, and we're repeating the same thing, then the outcomes and results are going to be the same. And some people think certain movements and things that happened were great, right? And they probably were in that time, but fast forwarding, it's 2016. Dynamics have changed. Technology's changed. Things are a little bit different. The issues are the same but more complex, and they've graduated to different capacities, for lack of a better word. So we have to really figure some things out as to why systematically, the black person in America is still struggling to win on a national scale. Why the black person in America is under persecution in the media. Because, you got those people that say, there's a Black Lives Matter, and there's a All Lives Matter, then there's a White Lives Matter, then there's a Cop Lives Matter. And we know that persecution is happening on a national and global scale all over the place, right? There's civil unrest everywhere. Stuff going on in Colombia right now, where the people and the guerrillas over there trying to negotiate peace, and go all throughout Africa. All the African countries over in that continent have been under civil unrest for centuries, right? And it goes unnoticed, Then there's natural disasters happening, right? And I don't want to get into all of that. I want to get into us. Like, what are we really doing individually? Like, take a look at yourself and ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I one of those serial posters, right? Because we're all posting, right? We bringing up events. There's things that's happening at the speed of light. Who's going to be shot next? Who's going to be killed next by the police? It's gotten to that point. We don't want to become desensitized to that, right? But what I don't want people to do is become distracted by it either, because the media is an effective tool, right, used, right, to control how we think and what we see. See, you have to be able to connect your thinking to what you see, because what you see is what you start to believe, right? And it's real scary, because if you start to believe that this is the way it is, you're going to live a certain way. It's going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect your thinking. If you constantly think that you're going to be shot, you're going to be killed, right? So I'm not saying that stuff is not real. It's very real, right? But what are we going to do, right, as a nation, as a community, to change that? Because it appears that it's happening to us, the black people, right? I just want to bring to everybody's attention to think. Let's stop and think. What if we wasn't on social media? What would we be doing? What would be our concerns, right? So all of these things is social media. It's all media, right? And it's designed to do one thing: control what we think and what we see and what we believe. So you got to stay true to your core self, your core conditions, and what is your purpose really, right? Because we focus on what our purpose is and what we want, right? these things that we see. We want rights. We want X, Y, and Z. We want the persecution to stop. We want a lot of things, right? And we're going to the system, right, that was designed to not give us that. So we have to find a way to get the system to cooperate, right, with us. And that's a big challenge. You're talking about an old system that's been very effective in the dismantling of our minds as a people, as a nation. It really has. Right. So I'm asking people, let's start looking at ourselves as individuals. Let's start looking at our local communities and start there. Let's start with each other. Because in that place, we can affect some change immediately and on a short to long-term scale, right? But what you're not going to change is the political process. You're not going to change the courts, the judges, their ability to judge and decide who gets what, right? Not until, right, you gain some type of unity, some type of structure, some type of control of your own self, self-determination. And you accomplish that by coming together to unite on goals, a foundation. So how do we accomplish that? Everybody knows the answers. I'm not saying I know all the answers. I'm saying that we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. Because this is not about black against white, blacks against the system. This is about self-preservation. It's about, we want to be able to live without fear of our lives, without fear of struggling, right? We got all these organizations in our local community, right? And I don't know of anyone that really caters to the black person. And the ones that are supposed to, black people not even in them. I still don't know what's going on over there in the Civic League. I just remember back in the day, I was doing something. But because we're not the majority here anymore, it just seems as if there's been a shift. And people have been okay with that. So I'm simply saying is in order for people to survive, in order for people to live, in order for people to maintain and keep their sanity and economic control, we have to decide to do something. And we have to do that. We have to change that condition locally and nationally. We have to do that. It's going to be a lot of work, but it has to start somewhere, right? The gangs are killing us. The drugs are killing us. I still know people my age still selling drugs in the community. And we're okay with it. We'll go out and party with these people. We'll salute them and treat them like, oh, you the man, you the woman, you know. And won't check them. We won't challenge them to do something more productive, right? And I'm talking to us. I'm talking real talk here. I ain't pulling no punches. I ain't looking for no friends. I'm talking real talk. Because I know, I see it. I ride around town, I see it. You know, these wannabe Frank Whites, like that's some real great goal, right? Then you got these kids that think they, you know, Ricky Ross and all these other people, these gangsters, right? So-called gangsters. I'm just trying to figure out what happened at what point. When did be a gangster become like a goal in life? When did committing crime, killing people, selling drugs, fighting each other, destroying each other's communities, when did that become a goal? Like, at what point do we start to really look at that and say, yo, what's going on? We can't just applaud the handful that decide to change that and walk away from it. You even see it with the entertainers who have made it financially, right? And they ain't dropped no flags. Why do we hold ourselves to this scale, right? To these conditions where we make it harder for people to change. You know, in the gangs, once you win, you win. Ain't no way out. Death. You know? Like, who came up with this stuff? You know, and this generation that's in this stuff now, they really believe that it's something good. Meanwhile, the homies are selling drugs, flooding the communities. And I'm just saying, we got to start home. We got to start really raising our kids and getting at them and questioning them and challenging them, helping them become critical thinkers. We have to change. We got to start changing our own condition. We know what the problems is systemically. We know on a national and a global level what those issues are. But what I'm saying is, where can we affect real change? Right now. And I'm challenging people. Let's stop these picture challenges. Let's stop these husband-wife challenges. Let's start some real challenges. Let's start some real challenges about, let's go out in these streets, right, and do something. I challenge everybody that go to church, to a temple, to a mosque, to challenge the leaders of those institutions. That's especially the ones that's getting all this money from you. Because you really got more power than you think. You got all the power in the world. If you stop giving them your money, then they'll start listening to you. Right? But we giving them our money and still being dictated by them. How that work? That ain't how it work in politics. If I give you 200 grand for your campaign, I'm getting something from that. It might be a program. It might be a guarantee of inmates into my program. It might be a guarantee to some kind of residence, right? But here we are. We part of these fraternities, these institutions, religious organizations, and sororities and all this stuff, and we giving up our money and nothing in return, just to be able to say, I go to this church, I'm part of this fraternity, I'm Greek, I'm this, I'm that, I'm Mason. Like, what are we really doing? What have we bought into? And I'm not saying those are bad things, but I'm simply saying that, what is your real goal? What is your real aim? What was your real purpose? Right? And if what you doing, it's one of the things my father taught me. He said, if what you join, if it ain't making you a better person, if it ain't changing somebody's life and for the better, you ain't doing nothing. You a joke to me. Straight joke. I don't care who you are. One thing my father taught me was, you don't fear no man. I fear God. I fear the Creator. That's it. So I'm saying this to everybody. Nobody should be comfortable. If people around you are comfortable and you know they're not really doing something, even on a personal level, and you ain't holding them accountable, you ain't helping them be greater men and women. You're actually helping them become worse. You're part of the problem. I'm simply saying that we have to take ownership for our own stuff. Forget what the blacks, the Indians, the Asians, the Arabs, forget all that for now. Let's start listening to each other and come together. You know, imagine if all these churches decided, you know what, let's just do something. Because they outnumber everything. That's where everybody's at. That's where the power is at. You know, and we got to hold everybody accountable. You know, you got mega masjids now. And people running around here assimilating, immigrants coming into urban areas, you know, assimilating, getting involved in this politics and this and that, and running around acting like they're the representatives of Islam in America when we've been here. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on out here that, you know, I don't really talk about because I don't really like to get into all that religion and all that stuff, but it's a mess, right? They ain't helping us. They helping themselves, man. That's all they doing. So we can't keep focusing on what other people are doing. What are we doing? When we going to let go this divide and conquer? When we going to let this crab in the barrel mentality go? Like, when we going to stop and really check ourselves? Let's check our communities. Let's check the masjids, the temples, the churches. Let's check our religious leaders. Let's check our fraternities, our sororities, everything. Let's just check them. Because you're paying money, and that money ain't coming back. And I'm sure there are some great organizations out there doing great work. But I'm talking nationally. The results going to have to change at some point. On a communal level, we got to come together and really put our heads together and really figure this thing out. We've been losing for a long time. And me personally, I'm tired. I'm tired. Not in the way that I'm giving up, man. I'm tired. It's time to fight a different fight. And if it's just me and two other people or one other person, that's fine. So, yeah. This has been on my mind for a minute, for a long time, for years, and hopefully, we can get this Black Leadership Council up and rolling and really get some positive things going here locally. And it could grow, because we're not here to fight the system. We're here to say, hey, we're people, we matter, and we want justice, we want our rights. We want to be respected and valued politically, in our community, everything. Because the reality is what we don't want to deal with is a lot of us been sold out by these leaders of these institutions, these religious institutions, these fraternities and sororities. We've been sold out and duped. And the people at the top steady eating. No different from the other system that we complain about. So that's what I'm talking about with assimilation. We got to do something. And it's only us that's going to save us. We either going to get with the program or we not. This message is for the blacks in America. We're going to have to do something. This ain't nothing radical. This is just simple nation building. What are we going to do? I just want to know. Because I know what I'm doing. And I know I'm going to keep doing it, whether you with it or not. Something's got to change. And those around me won't have to change. Or, just stay away. For real. Because, I'm tired. We run around here, keep talking about we kings and queens, we this and that. And we tearing each other down faster than anybody else now. Yeah, I'm saying it. Because we do more harm to each other than they do to us now. So we're talking about the establishment. The establishment is local now. It's these churches, it's these mosques, it's the temples, it's these businesses, it's everything in our community that's affecting us. These liquor stores, right? The drug dealers, the gangs. Those are the establishments that's doing more harm directly to us right now. That was set up by the establishment, right? But we control, right, our involvement in that. So we all decide, and the people get involved and get with their children and say, hey, I fight with my kids, man. That ain't the way. And my kids ain't free of all of that. But that ain't what it's about. It's about never give up. Keep talking to them, because they don't even know what they don't know. They think what they're doing is right. The ones that's doing it, they don't have a clue because they've been brainwashed. They don't even know how to think for themselves. This ain't no stab at them. This real talk. And some of them don't even want to hear it because they, for some reason, think they know something at the age of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. My father used to say one thing to me, and you don't know nothing. And then when I got older and older and older, I said, damn, that's so true. I didn't know nothing. But now what I do know, I intend to do something about our condition, about my condition. You start with self. So this is a message. Let's do something. Let's change our condition. Let's come together. Let's stop the bickering about you from there, you part of that organization, you do this, you do that. Let's stop this divide and conquer, selling out to the man, right? If you one of them people that's really down with the man, but you hanging around because you just want to see what's going on, you want to take that information and stay away. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. Because I'm the kind of person, once I identify that you part of the problem, I'm just going to remove you. That's it, from my life, from whatever it is I'm a part of. Because I can't be part of no foolishness. I'm not going in the hole with you and nobody else. I don't care who you are. I don't care who don't like it. Because I speak what I see as my truth. The way I see things. Right? So I'm not looking for friends. I'm looking for action. I'm looking for people who want to make some things happen. That's it. That's what this is about. Simple message. Let's change our own conditions. It's the Black Leadership Council.